But
All I'm saying is it's not over and take precautions.
no,
Oh,
You're
yeah.
right.
No, I definitely agree.
No,
I definitely.
It's never over. And now
No.
you're
We're still requiring masks at our synagogue. Everybody, we have a new rabbi, and I went there last week, which is why I wasn't here. But everybody in the whole place wore a mask.
well, my girls who work in hospitals, doctor and nurse, say it's back. They see it now, and we should all wear masks.
It hasn't gone away.
Well, I know, but those who think it did,
It just took a rest, a slight rest.
they're putting on signs again to wear them. Well, I always did, but stay safe, everybody.
Yeah, but I was surprised when we went to Albertsons and on the door there was a notice to please wear masks.
Was everyone wearing them, Linda?
No. Well, I think the same as us. We came to the door and saw it and it was like, wow. And we didn't have the mask with us. So next time I probably
I
will.
think
That's so
it.
weird because my
Yeah.
Albertsons, I was in there today, just waiting to get something. Nothing. That's so
Well,
weird.
that is strange. Mm.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat. It's time to rest. We were saying the week was some of it was tough. A couple of weeks, right, of easiness. But we're doing Shabbat and we're enjoying, and we're going to let it all go, at least for this space for now, and give ourselves a rest so we can be strong and deal with everything again after Shabbat. So let's welcome the angels in with Shalom Aleichem. And here we go. Shalom Aleichem, Malchei HaSharet, Malchei Shalom, Malchei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ya Elai, 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 Ya Elai, 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 Ya Elai, 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 Ya Elai, 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 Mi Melech, Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ya Elai, 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 Ya Elai, 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 Ya Elai, 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 Ya Elai, Elai, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And Merle is lighting the candles for us tonight. So don't forget to unmute.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher Kitshanu B'mitzvotav Yitzivanu Lahadlik Ner Shel Shabbat. Amen.
Amen.
My candles do this. I burn my
They're
fingers.
tough today, the candles, right?
Yeah, I wish I was.
They don't want to be, they're saying it's Shabbat. We don't want to work.
Right.
So let's get the service up. And we're going to ask Ellen and Dan. Everybody can unmute. Let's ask Ellen and Dan to lead us responsibly, please.
Please just sit.
May the doors, little dog argument here. May the doors of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for fellowship.
May it welcome
all who have pleasure to
and burden,
thanks to express and hope to nurture.
May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness, pride, envy, and enmity.
May be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness.
May this Kehillah be for all who enter the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. As we go into Yedid Nefesh, the two words Yedid Nefesh. In modern Hebrew, the word Yedid translates into kind of like a casual friend, right? A friend, an acquaintance, maybe. And then we have the word Nefesh, which comes from soul, from the word soul, and also from the word to rest. When God rested on Shabbat, Hunafash. It was he kind of went on this vacation, but it was a whole soul rest. It wasn't just a physical rest from the hard work. It was a restful soul. Yedid, though, when we talk about the prayers, it's much more than just an acquaintance. It's a Yedid Nefesh. It's a friend of the soul. And so we're referring to God as the friend of the soul, Av HaRachaman, the Father who takes pity on us, who has compassion. And these are beautiful metaphors to think of God as a parent, but also as a soul friend. And so as we get into Shabbat, that's the mood, the atmosphere we want to be in. We want to be in this soulful place of rest, relaxation, compassion, and doing tzedakah.
הרחמן ידיד נפשה הרחמן משוחדך אל רצונך משוחדך היי די די די
There's also a feminine version of that. It goes like this.
קדמה פניו בתודה בזמירות נריע לו
שירו לאדוני שיר חדש שירו לאדוני כל שירו לאדוני, ברכו שמו, מסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. לי 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 לי
And let's ask Paul and Isaac to lead us in Shabbat is the place.
Shabbat is the place where time and space meet, without questioning how the beginning began or how the ending ends.
Shabbat is the place where song and silence meet, blessing each other with the gift of rest.
Shabbat is the place where dreams and angels meet, yearning together for a world of peace. Shabbat is the place where holiness and eternity meet, praying together for the world to come.
I particularly like the verse there that says, Shabbat is the place where dreams and angels meet. What a nice metaphor to imagine that on Shabbat, the angels are all around us all the time, but on Shabbat especially, we welcome them in, and it's such a feeling of celebration, of song, of joy. And let's welcome Shabbat in now.
לך דודי לקראת קהילה פני שבת קבלה לך דודי לקראת קהילה פני שבת קבלה שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד הוא שמו אחד לשם מול תפארת ולתחילה היי לך דודי לקראת קהילה פני שבת וקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת קהילה פני שבת קבלה לך דודי לקראת קהילה פני שבת קבלה היידה די די לך דודי היידה די די לקראת קהילה היידה די די פני שבת פני שבת קבלה ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי על ידי שבארצי וני שמחה ונגילה היי די די היידה די די לך דודי היידה די די לקראת קהילה היידה די די פני שבת פני שבת לקבלה היי די 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 היי די 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 שבת המלכה אוי לך דודי לקראת קהילה פני שבת וקבלה אוי
And as Baal Shem Tov told us, we must always rejoice, always try to be as happy as we can, even in times of adversity, when times are tough. Kol v'chol, we need to even be more happy and more joyous. Get a song out and dance and sing as much as we can. We can also cry as part of the process. That's absolutely part of the process. And the other part is just getting a song out and just clapping our hands and singing and praying and getting our soul to a happier place. And the theory is that when we get to a happier place, the whole world around us becomes happier. So let's unmute and do these prayers together. Baruchu et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Leolam Vaed. We can pray silently. We can use the text here or make your own up. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב הרבי. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע ים, לפני משה זה לי, אנו ואמרו אדוננו לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. יאללה
ליי 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 יאללה ליי 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 מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נהדר הקודש אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל ירושלים Spread over us the shelter of your peace Spread over us the shelter of your peace ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל ירושלים ושרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית השמיים והארץ וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפל אוי ושמעו בני ישראל את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Shabbat Shalom once again. So good to see you. And the Torah portion this week, what is it? It's Chukat. And it's somewhat of a famous story. Parts of it are famous. I think a lot of Torah stories, we know certain parts of them, and then the rest we kind of tend to, whatever is palatable for everyone to get, and then the rest of it we kind of say, oh, you can do it on your own. But the famous story is the one where, well, first of all, Miriam passes away. It's her time, and she's the oldest sister. She was a very revered prophetess and leader of the people. In fact, we learned that there was a well of water that followed the people of Israel that was called the Well of Miriam. as long as she was alive, she was so spiritual that she provided that water, that nourishment to the whole, that's how important she was to the whole people. And when she passes away, unfortunately, the well also it dries up and it's gone, because really it was Miriam who brought us that wealth of spirituality. And as soon as the well dries up, you guessed it, what do the people do? You guessed it. They're not even 2 minutes from mourning Miriam. They start complaining and screaming and shouting and being divisive. And why we don't have water? What are we going to do? You know, you'd think they'd learned by now. They would trust. They're almost in Israel. They've been through this desert for so long, right? We've been through this so long. And they still, are arguing and complaining and crying, not about the loss of Miriam, although some are. Well, most of them are, but now they've moved on and they are crying that they don't have water. And what are they going to do? They're gonna die in the desert. And it's so bad. They go to Moshe and they yell at Moshe and Aharon, yell at them that they, what kind of leaders are they? They just leave them in the lurch. And didn't they prepare? Didn't they know? They knew this was coming, right? Miriam was going to pass away eventually. Why didn't they have anything in place? And they just yelling, and they yell, right? And Moshe is now also an old man, and he's about had it with the people. He's still human. Yes, he's one of the biggest rebbes of our people. But he's human and he's had enough. He's an old man. He says, I'm done with these people. It's just too much, right? All they do, and they blame me, and I'm done. All these politics, I can't take them anymore. And he goes to God and Aaron, and they say, please help us. He says, don't worry, go talk to the rock and, show the people that I'm there. Moses and Aaron must have had this conversation. Like, how many times can we really, he always does this. Doesn't he know that the people just don't, he needs to do something else. Like, he needs to wow them. Facebook is boring now. So he needs to do like TikTok or something new, because they just don't buy it anymore. They're bored. And so he goes there and he talks to the rock, like, oh yeah, give us water. And nothing happens. And so he takes his rod and he beats the rock twice, really violently, and then the water arrives. And that was his Instagram moment, right? Something new. But God isn't very happy with that, because God says, Moses, you can't give in to that. You can't. You're the leader. You have to take a deep breath. Trust me. Show them that you trust me, and everything would have been okay. And so one of the kind of the consequence for Moshe is that he won't be able to get into the land of Israel with everyone else. He will have to come up back to God before they enter, which is it's a pretty big deal, because he led them there. And what do we learn from all that? A lot. We learn a lot about that life doesn't really change a lot sometimes in that respect. And often when times are tough, people tend to pounce on everything and everyone and get violent and get divisive and scream and shout. And oftentimes the leaders don't have enough trust in the people, in their own abilities. And what you have is a disconnect between society, between leaders. Sometimes the leaders get too complacent. Moshe, let's be honest, Moshe and Aaron were a little bit too complacent, right? Aaron is a big Kohen, he's a big priest. And Moshe has been a leader for years and years. And they're a little bit, they kind of take it for granted. They also get burnt out, and they don't realize that as leaders, they are the ones who have to be innovative, and they are the ones who have to take a lead. And they, listening, sometimes you need to listen to the people, but you need to listen to the people in a different way, in a slightly different way, and try to solve what's going on in a way that doesn't just benefit you. So Moses was upset. It was his ego that was upset, right? Because the people are yelling at him and they don't believe that God is there. And he's like, I told you God is there, so you better believe me, right? And when they don't, he hits the rock and he's so upset, almost as if he doesn't believe it himself. He's also saying, no, I'm not going to do it. And in these times of sometimes uncertainty, we're in this place. We are in the desert. We are trying to get to the land of Israel. We've lost our way a little bit, and we're trying to find our way back home. And lots of different things are happening. You know, in last week's Parsha, we had Korach, who rose up against Moshe and against the people and said that he could be the better prophet, and incited all these riots within the people. And this week we have Moshe, who he's a good leader, but he's losing it a little bit, and he's allowing the anger to get a hold of himself and not thinking about what the people need, but what he needs. Even though they're shouting and yelling, he's not really getting to the root of the problem. And so what do we do? What do we do? We're in this place. We're in the desert with the people. What can we do? Moshe and Aaron, they have all the power. God, he has all the power. What do we have? We have nothing. It doesn't work in our favor anyway, whatever we feel, whatever we want. Sometimes it does, and then we're very happy, and then sometimes it doesn't, and then this side and that side, and up and down, and we forget a time of and a place in the middle when we became one people, one nation. And that is what we have to go back to. And what can we do? Each one of us has a voice. Each one of us has a place. And whatever it is that feels right to your nefesh, to your soul, is how you can help. And some people are very vocal, and so they will speak and they will write and they will do. And some people do it behind the scenes. And some people, theirs is just to love someone and to hug people and to make people feel like everything is okay. Some people want to choose a side, and some people this side or that side. And some people just want to be somewhere in the middle to help everyone come together. And so whatever it is that your neshama says, that is what we need to do. And we need to call out things that are not right. We need to speak up. We need to say that this is wrong and that is wrong. And we also need to realize that we need to do it in a way that is connecting to the heart and in a way that's connecting back to love, not making someone an enemy. You know, the people were so quick to make Moshe their enemy, right? He's their enemy. Well, Moshe and Aaron, they're bad leaders. They're the enemy. Like it was all or nothing. It wasn't, you know what? Maybe they were old and tired and we need to help them a little bit or, you know, find a solution. It was just everybody blames everybody else. And ultimately, God said to Moshe and Aaron, what we need to learn from this is that as to be a people, to be united, we need to love one another. We need to disagree, to passionately even sometimes, to have different views, to have different cultures and different places and different things. But at the end of the day, we need to realize that we are all human. And sometimes we do need to rattle the leaders a little bit to wake them up from their slumber. And sometimes we need to pull back a little bit and do things on our own and take the power back on our own and find new leaders and find new places and allow the process to take place. And then when we do that, we will find our Ma'ayan. We will find our water. It will come. And we need to know it's going to come and still have hope. No matter how we feel, we have to know it's going to get better. Look, as Jewish people, we know that better than anyone, right? We've been through there and back and back and back and back. And that's how the world goes. And we will get back and we will get to a place, a better place. We just have to push a little bit and get there. Shabbat Shalom. So let's do a Misha Berach. We have a list, and then anybody else who would like to mention names can do that. We have Linda, we have Scott, we have Paul, we have Toby, we have Amy, Shoshana, Liz, Jill, Ellen, Carol, Sean, Annette, Michelle, Randy, Brenda, Merle. We have Sylvia, we have Judith, cousin Judith, and anyone else who would like to mention names. Now is the time.
Lauren Husselman.
I'd like to do one for the Highland Park community and also for the family of Shinzo Abe.
Ed Bailey and Marcia Weaver.
And healing to the world, healing to the place that we're in, healing for our physical world, nature, the world around us, and healing for all of our neshamas, healing for those who are feeling a lot of angst and a lot of pain. May we all get through this and find a place on the other side of happiness, joy, and togetherness.
Our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Mishaberach, our mothers, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel. Bless those who are saved with complete good health. The renewal of spirit, the renewal of body. Let us say שברח אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב. מי שברך אמותינו שרה, רבקה, לאה כל החולים עם רפואה שלמה, רפואת הנפש, רפואת הגוף, ונאמר
If you'd like to unmute and join, we may do so. Adonai, שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. Eternal God, open our lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר
בחסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גואל לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך חוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ופוקד שרה.
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה כל חי ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופך עולים, ומעתיק אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו משני העפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות כל חי. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה כל חי. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום, יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
אמן. עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל. May the one who makes peace give us peace. Make peace all over Israel. Make peace all over the world. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל. יושבי תבל. And let's get our Kiddush cups. ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבעם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי כל מלאכתו אשר עשה, ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. סברי חבריי וחברותיי, ברוך אתה אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן, ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשן במצוותיו ורצבנו, ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון, הנחי לנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי באנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת, אמן לחיים.
עלינו לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שנתן לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Amen. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we remember
them.
the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them. In the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. In the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of winter, we remember them. In the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them. Beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. So long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them. And if we have any yortzites or names we want to mention, now is the time.
Bet Yehuda Batavro.
Catherine Goldstein, Irina McCarthy, Kevin McCarthy, Jacqueline Sondheim, Stephen Strauss, Nicholas Toledo, Zaragoza, and Eduardo Uvaldo, who died in Highland Park, and also Shinzo Abe, who was assassinated today.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי והמליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו,
הוא
יעשה
שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. And may their memories be for a blessing. And let's end with Lechilach as we sing with solidarity. Debbie Friedman, she wrote the tune to this, and she also wrote some of the English words, all of the English words. And she specifically took, Abraham was Lech Lecha, go. God said, go to the land, but Lech Lecha to Abraham in the male. And Debbie Friedman took it and said, Lechilach, you go. So to make it a little bit more equal, a little bit more, speaking to all of us. And so she did also include the Lech Lecha in there. And it gives us a much more united, a more inclusive, a place of equality. And especially today, this is what we're going to sing, and we're going to sing it really loudly. Lechilach. We're going to remind ourselves that it's not, we don't lose hope, and we go, we hear the calling, right? Abraham had to go, Sarah, they had to go to a place they didn't know. This is where we are, but we're going, and we're going to get there.
To a land that I will show you. Lech Lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechilach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing, and you shall be a blessing, and you shall be a blessing. Lechilach, Lech Lecha, and I shall make your name great. Lech Lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechilach, to the place that I will show you. Lesimchat Chaim, Lesimchat Chaim, to a life full of joy. Lechilach. First verse again. Here we go. Lechilach, to a land that I will show you. Lech Lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechilach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing, and you shall be a blessing, and you shall be a blessing. Lechilach, don't give hope. Lechilach.
Shabbat Shalom. Hopefully this Shabbat we can take a breath, we can relax a little bit. Next Shabbat we are not going to have services. There are a couple of things that I'm doing, and a couple of officiations, weddings, and a bar mitzvah. So we're going to take the weekend off, and it's summer, so we said we kind of will take a couple of days off here and there. We are still working. We're not going to forget the challah. We're still working on doing the art project, and I'm working on creating maybe a Kabbalah, very basic Kabbalah class to see, a couple of people expressed some interest. People who come to our services and also on the outside. So that might be a nice way to connect everyone that's here and there in the ether. There's some people in the fringes that see us on YouTube and stuff. So we're talking about that. And the high holidays are coming. I know, quick. So if you'd like to have a part, just shoot me an email. I'm going to email you anyway, so. But if you'd like one, then just email and we will give you a part. So let's, without further ado, I see a beautiful challah. And if we don't have one, we're going to make one and say the bracha. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. And I see the doggy there eating challah.
Yeah, that challah's going to reach Las
part.
Vegas soon. It gets bigger every time.
And they know when you say challah that it's time. So Shabbat shalom. Have a great weekend. And Bezrat Hashem, I'll see you in a